So this was suggested by Spoonie in the chat. It is One Winged Angel from Final Fantasy VII. I've heard this song a zillion times. I've heard a zillion remixes of this song. I've heard this song everywhere. I know this song fairly well, but let's listen to it. This is one of the final boss themes of all final boss themes. So let's see if it curves the rubric. All right, I'm gonna listen once through for vibes and then again for analysis. Okay, big string stabs. Big shrieky, like, psycho kind of like string motifs. These falling, whatever those are, flutish noises. Big foreboding brass. There's like these little falling things on the left ear, like falling string lines. Okay. Have this rising sort of phrase between a couple instruments. It builds. We're still hitting those fucking stabs. Now we have this up and down trill on one side. Big orchestra hits. And it rises. The choir. Okay. So everything builds to that Sephiroth and then it dies out for a little bit. Very, very cinematic, but also it's very classical more than it is cinematic. Very operatic. Okay, now we've modulated. And we're doing this 1-5 thing. Yeah, it's very regal. Very, like, evokes, like, divinity, you know? A little carnival-y now. Them loves them fucking big cymbal crashes. Like there's one of them goddamn wind-up monkeys. Just keep at it. This percussion brought to you by the Energizer Bunny. There's these, like, dissonant kind of chord stabs that were happening in the left ear through that whole section. Completely different break here. Chords kind of wander around dissonantly. Okay. Okay. The choir is back. Yeah, this is like a breakdown. There's this little, like, string on this side, and then there's just a lot going on now. There's some choir rounding happening. Then that little flute patch. There's a tubular bell now. It's a very church bell, like, here is your death approaches kind of thing. Yeah. Then everything cycles back around. So yeah, there are a whole bunch of sections to this song that I can hear that are just kind of haphazardly strung together. It sounds all over the place. And it doesn't quite build. It kind of just hops around. Big timpani hits. Okay, that sounded like a weird chordal descent. March. Everything builds really thick. Everything, like the melodies and the harmonies between things get really thick and dissonant, like in pretty much every section. Yeah. This part sounds like really regal, like very like royal march, and then this sounds really like work song, right? Like a more like foreboding kind of chant. Somebody beating the drum against like the work line, you know? It's got like several different voices kind of coming in. Or at least that one, a string doubles it with a harmony. Follows it. There are them bells. All right, and then it starts to fade. Okay. So this song sounds like it's in 100 different keys. Let's figure out where it starts at least. Okay, but before we break that down, let me tell you something. I don't have a sponsor for this video. My efforts are funded by generous contributions from viewers like you through Patreon. If you want to see more of this and you want to hear more of my stuff than anybody else can right now, go to case.dog/join or click that link up in the card and become a moonling. That's where you get to hear my unreleased music, get access to a VIP chat in my Discord where I post the evolution of my tracks as I work on them. You can get the master stems to my 100 plus songs that I've put out. And there's tiers where you can see your name in a lower third in the video, which you're about to see. Thanks for listening. And yeah, I do have blue hair now. Back to the video. E. Has like a weird little dancey thing like that. Then it starts doing this little fluttery thing where it trills between like just single like half steps or whole steps. And it flutters all the way down. And we're doing like a thing where it sounds like the like E and like its tritone are just being stabbed over and over again. All of that is so we do have an E here, right? We do have like a minor E thing. And we use this interval, which is a major E interval, and we use this interval, which is a minor sixth. Sounding like it's in a different key than E altogether. it's in a different key than what the tritone is too, so it's like a separate kind of thing it's doing. Has like these weird trills that land in the tritone of the E. This also has like an E plus a tritone plus its fourth. So this would just be a ninth attached to this. Okay, that's also very strange. Just very strange and like atonal melodies. Something like that. So we're using this 5 of E and its tritone in there pretty heavily. And not trying to really slip into E at all, but still I can hear its remnants, right? That's an interesting little run-up. That's an interesting run, and also in E. So we do have this now. We do have one melody that's very solidly in E. Okay, and then after we do that, there's some rising, there's some like transition thing, right? Okay, what the hell's happening here? Okay, I hear a brass thing going. Okay, we go down to the 4. We do a similar pattern to get down to the 7 again. And then, yeah, the 3rd. And then we end up on the 5 of E. So this, from here, should want to go back to E, but we'll see if it does. No, we're in D now. Is this fluttering chromatic thing up top on the strings on the left side? So the first thing we hit sounds like a D. Then it sounds like we hit like a C above this stabbing D thing, right? Then we hit this, or 6th between the root and the 6, right? Okay, and what I'm sort of hearing is like this going down to a major 7th from the A. And then going back to A, and then B and C, I think. I'm hearing that over that marching D. No, it doesn't go a half step down. It goes down to G, and then... It does something like that. So... And then it sounds like... Then it sounds like the key center moves a half step up. So we can hit, like, an E flat or something. Or a C minor. And then we get a rising up to half step. Then we get that low with the minor 6, right? Then we get this thing that spells out essentially a B major chord. Okay, so a lot of like chromatic and not really like scale agnostic kind of tone movement here happening. Very threatening, very foreboding, very confusing, very disorienting so far. Okay, then it stays in D, definitely stays in D, and it mostly plays with that fifth interval. The A here. Bring me to the choir. Okay. And then... And there's a little, like, in-between part there, right? And it does something like that as the strings on a fill thing. So it does that, kind of mimicking the vocal rhythm. And then we get just landing on a minor interval of that from fifth down to minor. It's indicating, yes, we are in minor. Remember that. Okay, and then we modulate. Where? Where are we modulating to? We are going a minor sixth down. And then it just jumps right back to D. Yeah. And we do that more. Okay, and then here we sort of change key, it sounds like. Yeah, now we're in B. Interesting. So we sort of fall down a, like... This is essentially a D minor with a 6 in the bass. That's essentially what's going on here. Yeah, so we use this B thing to just jump right into E. It does like it's 5-1 thing, you know? So we're sort of jumping between E and B on the root here. So that's an E minor. That makes it an E minor 7. Then it continues to be an E minor. And then we add this tritone. So we're kind of rising up in arpeggiation of an E minor 7/11, essentially. 7 sharp 11, I should say. And then we do that again, but we don't hit that, like, tritone note. It sounds like. Or something like that. We get a little bit of a chromatic descent there. Also, melody landing on B, which is the 5 of the E, and also what chord we were on at the time. All right, now we go to a 6, and we do like a little bluesy note thing. We hit that barbershop note, that B flat above C. You know, we do a little bit of some bluesy blues notes there. Yeah, so we're hopping around, and essentially these are just E minor notes with some extra flavor thrown in. And then does it go to B? No, it goes back to C. Okay, and then here, we ride on B for a short time. Then we go to G. And then down to E again. And then down to B again. So we essentially drop down back to being in key. We sort of drop down an E minor chord with the roots there. I'm hearing that. So this part is, it seems like it's just jumped into a different scale. Something like that. And lands on D. And the bass is doing some shit like that. As if the bass is also landed back in D. But it sounds like, if anything, like there's a low part in like B flat, right? You know? Yeah, and then I hear it hit D again. As the melody does. Okay, and it does like a weird jumpy thing here. Ah, and there's the final boss, like typical like bass thing. Minor 7 and half step up from D. And then from here, as it does some of those more, as it does a few more of those tumbles, it just steps up chromatically to back to D, right? And then right away it kicks into a different section. And we get this really dense kind of chord. And it's mostly, it's just like an A flat major. What does it say there is? D? Yeah. Then it sounds like it resolves to this A flat major, which is a tritone of the D, the last thing we were on. So we go furthest away from where we were the section before, and now we can resolve with that. Okay, and then we get this little breakdown here. And I think it's back in D. And it sounds like we end by like rising up to this half step above the D and then getting spit back down 1/2 step to bring us back to that where we were. This is a jumble. This is like a bunch of puzzle pieces thrown at the wall from like 3 different puzzles. That's what I'm getting. It does keep returning to D, but it almost sounds like all the parts between the parts that are in D shouldn't be there. They just don't fit. There's so much like tumult through this whole thing, and some of it seems kind of pointless. Like it may just be trying to overwhelm you. But yeah. Okay, it sounds like it's rocking between a half step above D and a half step below. It's doing something like that. So this is just sort of like a rumbly kind of part. And what is the actual melody doing of the vocals? It's mostly just following what the bass is doing, essentially. Everything is kind of moving in unison there to be like this mob kind of gaining on you, like this growing power that is like amalgamating, right? So we have this thing that's also hitting that half step below. Is it doing that? Yeah. Yeah, and then we get spit back into the... Then we get spit back into that whole choir section. And I think that's after a loop, so that's basically everything that happens, right? Yeah, that's everything. So, this song is also somewhat key agnostic, but not really. It does keep revolving back to D. It moves around a little bit. It does this thing where it's an E and in B, but it mostly wants to keep to D. In essence, the main modulation is a half step up, which happens a lot with like building tense music. Half of the song does not need to be there. That's what I think. Like if all of these sections were motifs from prior points in the games, which some of them may be, this would make more sense. But it totally seems like something's about to intro a different song, and then it just kind of resolves, cuts away, and then modulates to something else, and then goes to a different section. And it's very, very haphazard. I would imagine that it would make you sort of like confused. The song is also pretty long, so you may think like, oh, this switch means that something interesting has happened. Maybe I'm doing well now. Maybe that's what that means. But no, it's just going to bring you back to the Sephiroth chant. In general, I'm not super impressed. I think a lot of the composition could have been made more effective and like justified itself. I think if you took all of the D sections in this and just gave them better transitions between them, I think it would have been a more, like, all of the sections of this song you remember are the ones that are in D, right? So that and the like those two parts, definitely like the chanting parts, if it just focused in on those kind of sections and transition between those a little better, instead of going all over the place, there were like 3 kind of like B sections between those kind of things. I think that would, I would like it more. But one thing, it does have Latin chanting. That's pretty cool. I don't think there were many songs from this era that had like actual operatic like Latin incantations being spit at you. Like, especially that sounds like it's recorded audio. It does not sound like that is a synth doing that. Like, that's people. Maybe. I could be wrong. There could have just been like a really good fake choir patch back in the day that I don't know about. But that's cool. So I'll give it some points for that. I think in general, this comes away with a 4. I think there are better final boss songs. I think this sort of did set a bar as far as like final boss music goes to like be threatening, be really threatening, be over the top threatening, go everywhere, like just totally disorient the player, like emotionally, mentally, do that. Definitely set a bar for that kind of thing, though I think it does it a little too hard. I think sometimes the most primordial examples of something can be the best execution of them. Sometimes they are very primordial and sound like a concept that could be built upon better. That's kind of what I think about every Beatles song. Like, there are a zillion bands that take influence from the Beatles, and whenever I listen to like 90% of Beatles songs, I always think, there's an artist that did a song that definitely pulled from this, and I like that song better. That's the kind of thing that I'm having with this song, is like, this sounds very important. I feel like the vibe has been done better since then, more effectively, I would say. So this is a 4 out of 5. It's good, it's iconic, is very effective with its harmony within the different sections. I just really don't like the arrangement. But yeah. Thank you, Spoonie, for suggesting One Winged Angel by Final Fantasy VII. Alright, how do you think I did? If you like the analysis, hit like. If you want to see more stuff like this in the future, hit subscribe and the bell to make sure you see when new videos go up. Let me know what you think. Is there anything you think I missed or glossed over? Let me know in the comments. I would love the feedback. I'll see you next time.